session, I'm going to talk about some of the things you need to do to learn how to drive. You need to put your questions in. And also, I'm looking for people who are available and willing to come on to my podcast starting up very soon. So if you ask high quality questions, my moderator will pick you. You got to put your email in, and then we'll reach out to you to be a member of our podcast. I'm really excited about this to build a community up. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get going. All right, guys and ladies, we're going to go ahead and get started. You ask questions. How do you pass? What do you need to do? We're going to go ahead and go through this portion first. So beginning your driving experience. Earning your driver's license is a privilege, not a right. A lot of people think, hey, I'm enrolled in the class, I can do what I want. But as you can tell, a lot of driving schools are updating the requirements. You are the last class to be at the sub-mid requirements. Starting in 2026, a lot of things will change, and they should change. Because if many of you are not quite ready to drive, you should not be driving on the road. So I want to let all of you know that my job is to get you out on the road. My job is to prepare you. My job is to get you ready. If you are the first or second sibling to drive, please put that in the chat. Again, if you are the first, second, or third sibling to drive, please put that in the chat so I know. And I'm going to keep it moving. So all states have something called the graduated licensing system, meaning you're going to take a class at our location. It's 24 hours of class. It's 6 hours of driving, 4 hours of observation. You take a knowledge test. In other states, it could be 60 hours. It could be 30 hours of class. It could be 8 drives. In New York, they have something called a junior license. You can't get your full license in New York until you're 18. So every state is different. I see a lot of first and second, that's fine. So let's keep it going. So for residents under 18, there's a 3-step process. You're under 18, or if you're over 18, there's something called the TIP. That's the temporary instruction permit. You'll take a test, you'll drive with someone over 21, and then when you think you're ready, you'll take your road test. In your case, it's because you're under 18, you have to go through the whole class, you have to go through the graduated license, you have to take segment 2. So I need you to really pay attention to this because a lot of students say, well, can you tell me more about this? So let's talk about level 1 license. What is it? Why do we have to do this? This is really important. In order to receive your level 1 license, the resident has to have completed segment 1 course, which consists of 24 hours of class, 24 hours of lecture, 6 hours behind the wheel. Once you've passed segment 1 course, they have to go to Secretary of State. You have to go to Secretary of State. If you don't go to Secretary of State and get your paperwork validated, it won't ever count. So let's pretend Holly's done today. Woohoo, Holly, you're done. But you don't go to Secretary of State until February. Holly, that's December, January, February. You wasted some time. Hey guys, how are you doing? So you want to go as soon as you're done and get all your paperwork turned in, pass the test, don't miss any days. Don't wait. And remember, it's going to take up to 10 days. Okay? So let's keep it going. Next, you got to have your segment 1 certificate of completion. That will be emailed to you once you have finished all your drives, passed your test, and if you miss any days, you're going to have to make it up in the next available class. Some students fall off because, well, you're lazy, mom or dad's lazy, grandma broke her hip, your dog got sick, and your permit got pushed down 30 days, 45 days. Things do happen, okay? You got to have a proof of valid Social Security number or letter of ineligibility. You have to have proof of legal residence. You have to have proof of identity, okay, and residency. So that's really important. Level 1 license allows, this is where you guys got to listen. Level 1 license allows the individual to drive with a parent or legal guardian or designated person or designated person that your parents feel is responsible when they're over 21. Okay? You have to have 30 hours of supervised driving and 2 hours at night. 30 hours of supervised driving. Out of those 30 hours, 2 have to be at night, are required before you can take segment 2. So I'll say it again. You have to have 30 hours in 3 months. That's an hour and a half per week. Your parents need to make time for you. They should make time for you, but sometimes they don't. Mom's got a second shift. Dad is too busy. They're tired. So it's really important that you understand that, okay? And you got to really show your parents, hey, I want to drive. Hey, I'm going to keep up my grades. So you have your 30 hours in 3 months. You can't take it before 3 months. A lot of students say, hey, I'm going to drive all my hours in one day. That's not possible. You can't do that, okay? So it's really important that you lock in and get those 30 hours in 3 months. I just want to pause on that because a lot of you won't do it. You don't want to drive. You always have to be, hey, mom, dad, I can take you to the mall. Hey, mom and dad, I can go to grandma's. Hey, mom and dad, I can drive to Chicago. Hey, mom and dad, I can go to Indiana. Hey, mom and dad, let's drive. You got to show your parents you want to drive. If you just sit here, then you really won't enjoy it. I don't know. I'm a driving instructor. Let's keep it focused. All right, let's keep it going. Level 2. Level 2 is 3 days of class. Hey, E, how are you? Level 2 is 3 days of class, no driving. You learn about crash avoidance, defensive driving. Every state is different. Around level 2, you should be at least 16. It depends on your birthday. Type in the chat how old you are. Again, type in the chat how old you are. I have some students who are 17. Some are 18. Some are 14. Some are 500. Type in how old you are into the chat. Guys, let's keep this going. Let's keep it going. Let's be high energy. We're going to learn a lot. If you're going to have random comments, then you'll just be removed. Hey, Jay, how are you? All right, let's keep it going. So you got to have 30 hours in 3 months. You got to at least be 16 and have had the level 1 license for 6 months violation free. Jay, I'm doing good. How are you? Got to be at least 16, violation free, no tickets, minimum 6 months, pass segment 2 course, complete 50 hours. In order for you to take your road test in our state, in our location, you need to be 16, have 50 hours, no accidents, and then you are ready to take your test. Your parents have got to be involved. I think every state should make their own rules. Every state has a constitution, and then nationally, the national and federal government will do what they need to do. I love the question. Put in questions about this as I'm going along. Okay, so this is set up so we don't have a lot of young people who are making mistakes, not ready to learn how to drive. Okay, it's your added benefit to help you. Now, it's a little tough. You're like, man, I got to be in at a certain time. Yes, you got to be in between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. Okay, 10 p.m., 5 a.m. You can only drive during the time frames if at least of the following applies. Maybe you got a job. Maybe you're coming home. Your employer needs to write a note. Maybe you're coming to and from a school-sanctioned event. Let's talk about level 2. Level 2 license also prohibits driving with someone, with more than one person, age 21 or younger. The law is designed so you don't have a bunch of kids in the car to distract you. What if you get caught? Well, they could say, hey, bad person, go back home. They could arrest you. They could give you a ticket. We don't know. What's up, Grace? How are you? How you doing, Grace? All right, let's keep it going. Please put questions in on this. I'm going to start picking up a little bit. So let's review. We talked about driving is a privilege, not a right. Each state has their own graduated licensing system. In New York, for example, you have to be 18 to get your full license. In our location, if you are 18 or older, you can't take segment 1. You have to go to the Secretary of State. You're going to take a test. It's called a temporary instruction permit, a TIP. Driving is a privilege. Thank you. You're going to get your segment 1 certificate once you're done with driving. You have to have 24 hours of class, 6 hours of driving. It has to be a licensed instructor in every single session. It has to be a licensed instructor in the car. I sign off in every single drive. Your class is the last class with the application cards in 2026. You have to hit between a 26 and like a 32. And if you need additional drive, we're not driving you for free. It costs money. When you drive, you're driving to be safe. Talked about 30 hours in 3 months. Level 3, this is when you're free. In order to receive your level 3, the individual has to at least be 17, have had your license, your level 2 license for at least 6 months, 12 consecutive months violation free. And then you're free. You can drive wherever you want. You can have 1,000 people in a car, but you don't want to do that. For residents 18 or older who've never been licensed, you have to visit the Secretary of State. Remember I talked about that? You have to get something called the TIP. That's the temporary instruction permit. You have to pass. What's up, black man? How you doing? I'm teaching class. You doing okay? Okay, I got a question. How you get rid of driving anxiety? It's called gradual release. When you get your permit, you're going to drive in your neighborhoods. You're going to drive to and from school. You're going to drive to and from work. Short drives, drive during off-peak hours. A lot of people have questions about anxiety, and it's true. So let's just start off the question and answer. So put in questions that you have for me right now. Go ahead and put those questions and put a Q in a question. I'm going to pause for a second because I'll front load the class with the lecture part, then we'll do a quizzy. So driving anxiety is very well. So I need you guys to put a Q and put your question in. Please just cut and paste, put it in for me. Put a Q in a question. I'm going to pause for a second. I appreciate that. Happy Monday. That's real. Thank you for those hearts. Let's keep it going. Okay. If you're trying to get on our podcast, you need to be active in the chat. E is looking for people. She's my moderator. I'm looking for people who ask very educated questions because we're trying to help people learn how to drive. You guys put your question in. Please type it in. Put a Q in a question. Come on, guys. This is your class. It's not mine. What happens after we pass the driving test? In car, you pass the driving test. That card is turned into the corporate headquarters. It's put into a digital file. It has to remain on property for, I believe, 3 years to 5 years. The state can come in and audit any driving school in the country. They're looking for paperwork. They're looking for licensed instructors. They're looking for insurance on the driver's ed cars. They might check drivers' driving records, okay? They want to make sure the class roster is intact. If you have 50 kids, you should have 50 names. You should have 50 social security numbers. You should have 50 copies of birth certificates. So we have to have all this information laid out because the state can come in and audit at any time. How many questions on the segment 1 test? There are 80 questions on the segment 1 test. We were over prepared for the segment 1 test. How long does it take to you to get your license after turning 16? V, it depends on you. How soon are you driving? How many hours will you get? Look, you are available to drive 24 hours a day, but the problem is your parents are not. You have to have someone, if you have an older brother or sister who's over 21, that might help. But if you have a brother or sister who's over 21, they're probably working. Most people work a 9 to 5, a 8 to 4, a 7 to 3, or they work an afternoon shift. So the reality is you're going to be driving on the weekend with your mom and dad. So my question for you, V, how often do you think you can drive? And if you can drive every day, you're going to get more hours over a week, over a month, and those days turn into weeks, those weeks turn into months. So it's your parents' availability, okay? So if your parents are available, you're going to get your hours sooner. If your parents are not available and they're nervous and scared, you won't get it. And also, maybe you have AP classes. Maybe you're doing a sport. Maybe you're being recruited by the University of Cincinnati. Maybe you're being recruited by Syracuse, University of Syracuse, for volleyball or basketball. You might have to go on a visit. Maybe you're being recruited by the University of Buffalo. They're in the MAC. Okay, they're in Buffalo, New York. So you have a life outside of driving. Everyone just doesn't sit home and say, hey, I'm free. You're teens, you're young people. I like the question. So I'm just being honest. I like that question. Come on, let's get some more questions in. We talked about the 71 test. It's 80 questions. You have 2 hours to take it. I answered the question again. Emily says, how long is the segment when you have 2 hours? Some kids finish in 35 minutes. Some kids finish in an hour. Some kids take 2 hours. But I caution you, if you rush through it, you're going to fail. You don't want to be that kid to fail at the end of 2025 and have that go into 2026. So you have to study. Keep putting questions in. When driving and start to get really nervous, is it okay to pull over? It's always okay to pull over. Always. No one is going to force you to do anything to drive when you feel uncomfortable. The goal is to get you to drive. And Maddie, if you're nervous, and thank you for being honest, if you're nervous, we will pause for a second, right? Good instructors are compassionate, are caring, are sympathetic, right? Because I understand this is a new experience to you guys, getting out there, right? If you feel sick or mad, or you feel like I got to pull over, I'm about to lose my mind, well, pull over. That's okay. You can take a pause. Thank you for being brave, Maddie. I really appreciate that. What happens after we pass the driving test? If you've passed the driving test, there's a written test, and then there's the in-car test. Your certificate goes to corporate, they check everything, and within 10 days, you're going to get a digital certificate. I need more questions in. What happens after we pass the test? I answered that. What happens if you get nervous? We can pull over, you can take a breath, we can switch drivers. I never force a student to get out if they're not ready. If you're not ready emotionally and socially, emotionally, we'll have a meeting with your parent. I'm intelligent enough, and I will talk to your parent. That has happened before. A young lady had a panic attack. She just could not get out of the parking lot. We tried 4 different times. Everyone is different. Thank you for being brave. And thank you for saying that. 80 questions on the test. How long does it take to get the license after 16? It depends on your parents. If your parents don't want to drive you and you're scary and nervous, it's going to take a long time. 6 months, 8 months, 12 months. Okay, I've had students in segment 2 who are 17, almost 18. Their parents don't want to drive with them because they're nervous, or they don't keep grades up, or they're inconsistent with driving, or their dad screams at them and their mom is nervous. If your dad screams at you and your mom is nervous, you won't ever drive. I'm just being real. When do we drive on the highway? Usually around drive 5. Everyone's a little bit different. We can go on a minimum of 4 times, but I go on 6. I go on 8. I go on 10. I want you to be thoroughly prepared. 1 time is not enough. On and off is not enough. On, off, maybe on, off, on, off, on, off. That's a little bit better. Okay, everyone's a little bit different. I need more questions. I'm going to keep moving. So we talked about the TIP. If you're over 18, you got to get something called a TIP. That's like an adult permit. You got to drive 30 days, and then you're going to come back. Okay, chauffeur's license. Must have driver's license and at least be 16. Maybe your parents have a moving company, and they want you to drive a large van. But you're 15, you can't drive. You got to be 16 and have passed your chauffeur's license. I have a chauffeur's license. I'm over 16 now. Commercial driver's license. Must have had a driver's license, passed the knowledge test and road test, and at least be 18. So there's a shortage of commercial driver's licenses. You can make a lot of money, but you have to be at least 18. You got to have your level 1 license. You can't have any suspensions for 36 months. You can apply for the CDL group designation, school bus driver, limo driver, hazardous material carrier. A lot of young people, 18, 19, 25, 30, make great money, but you're on the road a lot. Moped license. Unlicensed teens 15 and older can apply for a license with parent approval. They must pass the vision and knowledge test. If you wear glasses, you need to wear them when you drive. If you're on medication, please let me know. If you have anxiety or you're going through some social emotion, please pull me aside and let me know. So I know how to coach you. I know how to prepare you. Motorcycle endorsements. Some of you like the motorcycles. You have to complete a motorcycle rider education course, a motorcycle road test, pass a written knowledge test, and a motorcycle road test. So it's quite a lot. So if you want to learn to ride a motorcycle, and I have a lot of students who do, you got to pass a bunch of tests. Okay, let's talk about the HTS. That's the Highway Transportation System. Please put in questions of what I just went over. We go on the expressway around Drive 5. We go on a minimum of 4 times. On and off counts as 1. The minimum is just like twice. What time will we usually drive on the weekends? I drive early morning. We start at 8 o'clock in the morning. Early bird. Then I get done early. So we start 8 in the morning. Plus Christmas holidays are coming up. I'm trying to see Santa Claus. I'm trying to stay home and relax. Play my new gaming system. See my family. So we start early in the morning. Don't stress. We'll schedule times. Let's keep it going. Okay, so National Traffic Motor Vehicle Safety Act, legislation regulations for vehicle manufacturers such as safety features, vehicle emissions, and recalls. If your parents have a Ford Mustang and then the fuel line leaks, the Ford manufacturer is going to issue a recall and they'll have to drive it to the dealership. They'll replace it for free. Also, type in the car that you're probably going to be driving. Type in the car, the year, make, and model that you're probably going to be driving. Please go ahead and do that. After this is over, we'll do some quizzes and then we'll go over everything in the end. I need you to type in the name, make, and model of the car you're going to be driving. Okay, what year Jeep? What model? Compass, Limited, SRT Jeep. What year, make, and model? National Highway Safety Act, that is concerned with vehicle inspections, driver's licenses, and traffic laws. The Uniform Traffic Control Device, most traffic lights are about the same size. Some are vertical, some are horizontal. 99.99% of traffic lights, yellows in the middle, reds at the top, greens at the bottom. You always want to be fulfilled, and fulfillment comes from within. Fulfillment comes from within. That's real, okay? So fulfillment comes from within, and this is about driving, so we want to lock in on driving. And if your questions aren't, we'll just remove you. So let's lock in on driving. Thank you. Grace, make sure that you reach out to me on Instagram, Driving with Myles. I want to get you and E on my podcast, okay? I'm going to look at Riverside tonight and set this up. And then all you need to do is email me, and then I can send you a link. I got you, Grace. Thank you for being here. Stay here as long as you want. Don't worry. We'll get you an email, Grace. Don't worry. We'll get it. We'll reach out. All right, let's keep it going. So we got a 2020 GMC Yukon, a Jeep, Toyota Highlander 2021, a Pontiac G5, a Ford F-150 2025, Explorer, Ford Bronco, a Jeep Wrangler, thank you, a Durango 2019, there we go. Good. Okay, let's keep it going. Next, state government follows the guidelines set by federal laws and acts statutes that regulate all aspects of the HTS. You need to have guardrails. Your highways need to be a certain size. Also, local government, cities. New York is different than Michigan. Michigan is different than Texas. Hawaii is different than California. Wisconsin is different than Nebraska. Every state has certain rules. Let's talk about responsibility to the road users. Every driver who shares the HTS must know the rules. Got to know the rules. Thank you, Grace. I'm blessed. Thank you for taking the time to be here. And I want to go 10,000%. Let's keep going. Every driver has 4 basic legal responsibilities. Make sure you're in good physical condition. 2, make sure your vehicle is good physical condition, meaning no ball tires, no cracked windshield, no broken tail light. Make sure your headlight works. Make sure your car's in good mechanical condition. 3rd, make sure you have the necessary license requirements for your vehicle. If I'm driving a semi truck, I need a CDL license. If I'm on a moped, I need a moped license. If I'm riding a motorcycle, I need a motorcycle license. If I don't have that, I'm out of compliance and I'm going to get a ticket. I'm going to get my motorcycle towed to the impound. Must be able to satisfy the demands of state insurance. Safety is your responsibility. '2025 Chevy Trailblazer. Thank you. Okay, sharing the road. Pedestrians. We're talking about children, elderly, adults. There are more elderly people because people are living longer. That's a good thing. But your age group is going to be dealing with people 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, right? So it's really important that you understand about the issue of driving and how you can improve and how you can get better. So children are difficult to see. They're always going to pop out. And it's really important that you understand that you have to be careful because children have poor judgment. Let's talk about the elderly. The elderly and physically or visually impaired, they move slower. So you got to go slow. If your light's turning green and you see an elderly person starting to walk, just wait. Adults should know better. A lot of you are adults, young adults. You should know better. Jaywalking, following the rules, walking without looking, you will get ran over. I'm just being real with you. People will run you over. Hey, I didn't see him. I didn't see her. And you're flipping in the air. I have a good video to show you tonight, and I looked at it 2 weeks ago, and it will help you understand the dynamics of crashes and how it happens. Always yield to pedestrians, even when they are entering the roadway improperly. Animals, small or big, move out unexpectedly. Never veer for a deer. You have to be very aware of small animals, dogs, cats in residential, downtown areas, rural areas. If a small animal enters your driving path, you should check traffic and brake sharply if it can be done in a safe manner. There are a lot of squirrels that are going to come out in front of us. Never slam brakes. Please don't do that. We'll get rear-ended. And if you slam brakes because of a small animal, it is your fault. Please remember this. It is serious out here. If you cannot avoid a small animal in a safe manner, it is best to make an impact. I'll say it again. If you cannot avoid a small animal and it is safe in a safe manner, it's best to make an impact with that animal than to put someone's life in jeopardy because of a reckless swerve. You mean I have to? You have to. Because if you swerve and hit a car or you kill someone, I'll go to court with you, but you're the one who's driving. So please remember this. Large animals are more common in rural areas and can cause considerable damage to your vehicle and occupants. If a large animal enters the pathway, try to brake firmly in a straight line until you are stopped or going slow as possible before you collide with the animal. If a collision with a large animal is imminent, release the brake before contact with the animal to lift the front of your vehicle. The animal might fly over, it might dart to the left, dart to the right, it might come through the windshield. Please be careful. Hey, let's talk about bikes and e-bikes. E-bikes have a lot of torque. There are a lot of kids, 6, 8, 10, 12. We saw 4 last week. 2 almost got hit. You got to be careful. Cyclists are using the roadway in an ever-increasing number. They should be going with the flow of the traffic. If you're riding your bike, you go with the flow. If you're walking, you go against the flow. If there's a sidewalk available, you should be walking on the sidewalk. But many of you don't, and that spells danger. Be sure to give them space. Motorcycles are usually better trained to use the HTS than non-roadway users due to their size. Make sure you leave them a full lane. Mopeds, motor scooters, and e-bikes. These vehicles must operate on the right lane if possible. Commercial vehicles, they're large, they're heavy, school buses, semi-trucks, they make wide turn. School buses, always give them room, extra space. Emergency vehicles pull over to the side if possible. Work zones, slow down. You should be at 45 miles an hour. Work zones on the US usually have become an increase in danger. In about 7 minutes, we're going to hit a quizzy. We're going to see how much you know. And I need questions on this. Please put in questions. I'm going to pause for a second, put in questions. Guys, I love the chat tonight. We need more people being active. Remember, I'm looking for 2 or 3 people to get on our podcast. This is about driver's education. I want to make sure that you are ready to go and ask intelligent questions so we all can learn. This is our community, right? This is what we do to prepare you for driving. This is how we grow. This is how we get better. And we just want to continue to grow, continue to get better. And I'm appreciative of Grace, and many of our people who are subscribing, okay? And when you subscribe, it's a commitment to learn, right? It's a commitment to get better. And I'm giving more of my time and myself by us doing this podcast. You can ask me questions directly. I can ask you questions directly. We can edit it. We'll put it on all social media platforms. And this is how we grow. This is how we get better. All driving schools should be doing is to have that communication so we can get better. And I do appreciate it, Grace E. It's about building confidence, okay? And every day we get confident. Every day I'm on here. You know, sometimes I don't feel good. Sometimes I'm tired. But we're going to teach with confidence. All right, let's go ahead and teach you. What happens when you get stuck behind someone on a bike? Try to slow down. Try to drive around them, right? If you're looking ahead, you shouldn't most likely get caught behind someone on a bike because you're looking ahead. Oh, there's a bike rider. Let me slow down. Let me turn on my blinker. Let me look to get over. You should never be behind someone so close they feel like you're going to run them over, right? What's the best thing to do when you are on the road, you see a collision right in front of you? Look for an open space. Maddie, I appreciate. Look for an open space. I like the questions. You want to look for an open space. Always have an out. O-U-T. If you're following so close, you're going to have a multi-car collision. Always have an out. And that's my job to teach you. And I can tell Maddie wants to learn. I have to teach. And by those questions, I can tell Maddie wants to learn. More of you need to put in questions. If you get stuck behind a person on a bike, leave room. What is the speed in the work zone? It's 45 miles an hour unless otherwise posted. If you can't pull over for an emergency vehicle, then you want to stay where you are. An emergency vehicle will circumvent traffic. Love that question. Thank you. Okay, type in what you learned, please. Type in what you learned. It's 8:03. Type in what you learned. I'm going to hit you with a short quizzy, and then we'll go over this information. Okay. If I save the link of the video that I want you to see, it is really good. It teaches you how accidents happen. It teaches you if your car breaks down, then you really should not be out trying to fix a flat tire because state police have been hit. Their cruiser has been hit. They're knocked in front of another car. It's really dangerous. So I saw this video and I want to show it to you. So give me a moment while all of you type in what you learned. Okay? I'm not going to be the one sitting here. You ask, how do you pass the test? You get an 80% on the quizzy. You tell me what you learned. I know you have the sign sheet and the sign worksheet and whatever driver must know. I know you have that. but type in what you learned, 2 or 3 sentences, not a couple of words. If I want you to be great, it starts from day one. Give me a moment. I'm going to see if I can find this video clip. I do have it, so give me a second. Yes, guys, it's really important that we bring good energy in, and I'm really committed to all of you. I've been here up to 24 hours now. Okay. I understand. If you're tired, then go ahead and get a break. Grace, I appreciate you. Okay. Always appreciate you. And you're taking the time to be here and listen to me in the car in the morning. I understand, right? I understand. And of course, as soon as I set this up, you're going to get the first link for the invite because you already have your email. You got mine. Grace, the same thing. And Grace, don't feel pressure, but I really would love you on the podcast, right? I would really love it on the podcast. And that's because we want to grow. I've done about 8 sessions on the podcast, right? So I get it. Grace, if you got to go, I'm sorry, E, if you got to go ahead and go. I understand. I understand. Go ahead, put what you learned, guys. I'm going to see if I can find this clip. It's a really great video. So put in what you learned. Grace, the podcast, I'm going to set up Riverside. I have some sessions on Spotify, Driving with Myles, and you can listen to those. But Riverside connected with Spotify, and on Spotify, they have a Spotify creators account for people who want to do podcast. So they kind of updated what Spotify had. So it's easy to set up, and I need to do that because I want to push myself. I really want to push myself. Put in what you learned, please. Thank you so much. Yes, that's correct. I do really appreciate all of you. Listen, I'm not going to waste your time. We've been on about 40 minutes. I want to say thank you, and I do appreciate you, all of you. And we will get the podcast set up. I'll get links set up, and I'll be reaching out to all of you. Please make sure you subscribe, and thank you. Bye, guys. Get your rest.